Oh, come on, you stupid.
This gun kind of sucks. Like, what the f?
You know what you can do when you're done powder coating? You can murder someone.
You're up. Should I pay a pro a bunch of money to powder coat this valve cover? Or is it something I can do myself at home? Should I DIY or should I don't?
Thanks to carparts.com for sponsoring today's video.
Everyone struggles with relationships, and your relationship with your car is no different. So Adam, what brings you in here today?
Well, my Honda here, who I've done nothing but love, almost got me into an accident. It's unappreciative of all the love that I give it.
That sounds like it might be a toxic relationship. Honda, what is your perspective?
He's lying. We almost got into an accident because he won't fix me with quality parts. You call that love?
Love doesn't have a single definition.
Yeah, do you feel that? Do you smell that? That exhaust? That's negative energy coming out. But I think I know the perfect way to make it simple.
Adam, have you considered going to carparts.com? Carparts.com is a smarter way to shop for auto parts, connecting you with the right part at the right price, hassle-free. Plus, carparts.com has a lifetime replacement guarantee on parts, so you can place trust in your relationship with your car for a lifetime.
So if I give love and quality to my car, I'll get love and quality back.
Exactly.
Now it's time for you two to hug it out. Go on, hug your car. Get the right parts right now with a guaranteed fit at carparts.com. Yeah, oh, that's sweet.
Of course, a true pro can give you a great result every time, but if you're the DIY type, like your boy, you can always take a crack at doing stuff yourself. So today, I'm gonna take a crack at powder coating. What is powder coating, you ask? Well, it's a painting and sealing process for metal parts that's very durable and can withstand a lot of heat. So brake calipers, wheels, things like that are made out of metal and need to be durable are great candidates for being powder coated. Powder coating requires that you bake the powder to give it its gloss and ultimately the protection that it's known for. And that means your parts need to go into an oven. So there's an oven in the garage. But there's more to this than just an oven, so let's take a look at all the stuff that I got. Okay, here's what I've got. From the old Harbor Freight, a total powder coating gun setup. Got some powder, valve cover from the Miata. This is polyester masking tape. Got some acetone, sandpaper, some Brillo pads, some brushes, some stuff you might already have laying around. I also spent $200 on an oven. So all in all, I've spent about $350. Now let's go to the pro's shop, see his setup, and find out what he would charge me to do the same job. We're out here in Moreno Valley at Velocity Powder Coating. I've got my K-Series valve cover, and I got Chris here. Chris?
How's it going?
Not too bad, thanks for having us.
Good to have you here.
I understand you're gonna be powder coating this valve cover for us and showing us how a pro does it.
Yes.
How much would that cost me?
Something like that would run about 200. Anything 4-cylinder around that size range would be that price.
Sure, and like you said, any of these colors pretty much?
Yes, any of those colors.
All right, well that's a nice variety. $200 though, I mean, that's not too bad. I already spent more than that on the oven, so that's... Well, yeah, it's fine. I'd love for you to walk us through what you're gonna do with this thing and teach me some stuff.
Sounds good. Let's come on back. The first step would be going into the chemical tank. It's gonna strip the paint off and it's gonna get rid of all this grime and leave you with a fresh valve cover to start with. Once it's out of the strip tank, it goes into the sink. We just rinse it off, probably takes 5 minutes. Again, no elbow grease, just rinsing it off with the hose. The next step after it's rinsed off is gonna go into the oven, just dry it up on the inside. Nothing's dripping out of it, nothing's coming out of the pores behind the baffles.
Nice.
And after that, it cools down and it's ready for the sandblasting cabinet.
Ah, sandblasting, my favorite part.
This is our Trinco pressure cabinet. This is all self-fed. I don't have to do any manual labor as far as filling it up. It kind of just does its own thing.
Yeah, I like that. I don't have a blast cabinet of any sort.
After sandblast, final step would be to mask it. Any threads, mating surfaces, anything like that is all gonna get masked.
Right. I have never used a powder coating gun in my life.
Okay.
So let's take a look at your setup and talk to me about it. How does it work?
This is our Jima off the Pro powder coating unit. Something like this retails at about $9,000.
Oh boy. Well, all right, what does this do that like a cheap Harbor Freight gun like what I'm probably gonna use doesn't do?
There's a lot of variables, just overall consistency of how the powder flows, how it fluidizes the powder out of the box.
How long would this take you from start to finish?
A valve cover, start to finish, would probably take about maybe 3 to 4 hours.
I'll let you get to powder coating our valve cover.
Sounds good.
All right, so let's go over how this is gonna go in terms of cost. First off, way cheaper than I expected. Chris is only gonna charge $200 to do the valve cover, and I've already spent $350. But the good news is, like always, now we have the tools to do this again. In terms of effort, I am screwed. It's just gonna take me way longer, and it is gonna be a lot more effort than Chris has to put in with his sand blaster and his dunk tank. I'm gonna have to do all that by hand. If I do it inside of 8 hours, the result comes out good, and the effort isn't too bad, then I will be ready to call this a win. And with that, start the old timer. Okay, just a little degreaser first, and it should take care of most of this. I wish I had a bigger sink, maybe a chemical tank. So let's check in on time. We are at just under an hour right now. Valve cover is sufficiently degrimed. It's time to sand it. I'm just gonna give this thing a once over, all over the bits that we want to powder coat. The most important thing here is to get all the oil and grit and grime off this thing, and we did a pretty good job of that with just the brushes and the degreaser and the soap. But sandpaper is gonna take this a step further and give us basically a brand new surface. Okay, we are finally done sanding, and it's been about an hour and a half since we started. My hands, arms, fingers, numb, dead, tired. It took Chris like 5 minutes with a sandblaster, and that was fun. This wasn't very fun, I gotta be honest. So now we gotta clean this thing up, and then I gotta mask, and then she's ready. Our valve cover is clean, and the next step in the process is gonna be to dry this thing off very well. And since I have a fancy new oven, I'm gonna use the oven to dry the valve cover. Now, you may be thinking that you have an oven at your house, so one of the big expenditures of powder coating is already taken care of for you. But that's not really true. You definitely shouldn't use your parents' oven to do powder coating. The powder basically just stays in there forever, and you don't want to eat that. So buy a cheap old oven and use it. Let's see if this thing works. Bake it. Okay, the next step in this process is gonna be to mask off all the parts that we don't want to powder coat. This is polyester tape, and it's built to endure heat. So this is what you wanna use for powder coating, because again, it's gotta go in the oven. And we're gonna make some cones like these, and then these can go in these spots. Well, hot dog, this thing is pretty much ready to powder coat. I'm gonna wipe it down one last time with acetone just to make sure it's clean as can be. So now it's time to set up our powder coating gun and talk about how it works and what the heck's going on, what makes powder coating so cool. All right, so first off, we gotta understand that powder coating is sort of like painting, but with dry paint. The paint is the powder, and then the curing process in the oven is what kind of melts this paint and flows it all out and turns it into a glossy, good final finish. Here we've got our $70 Central Machinery powder coating system. And it's basically an electrified paint gun. We've got this positively charged wire in here, and it electrifies, it gives a positive charge to all the powder coming out of the gun. And this goes to the part that we're powder coating, and it grounds that part. So we've got a negative part with positive particles, and they want to stick to each other. And they cling to it just long enough to get you to the curing process. And then once you're cured, you're good to go. Boy, that's a nice powder. All right, that seems like it's probably got to be enough. I mean, you can tell this is a high quality tool. You can feel it. I'm gonna throw my mask on, and then we're gonna do a couple test spritzes and see what the pattern looks like. We're gonna be looking for a fine, even mist.
420, dude.
on the dot. Okay, so we've obviously got the gun with the trigger, and that's what expels the powder, but there's a foot switch, and that is for initiating the voltage. So without pushing the foot switch, this won't work. But when you push the foot switch, it electrifies the powder, makes it stick to the part. So let's see if that proves to be true.
And so I'm going to be trying to kind of point this thing in basically all sorts of different angles. But I want to make sure that the powder is able to fall into all the cracks and crevices. So just kind of coating it real heavy, but hitting it from all the different angles. This gun seems to be working pretty well. The foot switch sucks though. Okay.
Okay, it looks pretty good. It is all red from what I can see. Now that I say that, I see one spot that I can see some bare metal. So I'll spray that again. But I've got two spots here, right here and right here, where I feel like maybe I went a little bit too heavy. And so now it's got kind of a almost fisheye effect. But you can see right here, it's got a little bit of acne going on. Well, you know what? The spraying was the easiest part thus far, so let's blow this off with an air gun and start over.
This is the most satisfying part yet. Okay, right back to where we started.
We had a little bit of inconsistency with the spray of the gun. You might have noticed I was shaking it to get like heavier spray. That kind of sucks. I don't know what to do to avoid it, but see how she goes. Let's give this another shot.
The issue right now is that it's sort of coming out inconsistently. This gun kind of sucks. It's very not fun to use. So short. Like, what the f?
I think we're gonna call that done. Okay, so you can see here at the front, at the cam cover area, we still have a little bit of that sort of pitting looking. I think it's just from laying a little bit heavy and possibly being a little bit too close to the valve cover. Let's compare my cheap gun to his super expensive gun. Mine sucked. The cords are way too short and there's too many of them. The foot switch sucks, and it was super inconsistent. His gun was doing a lot of tricks. He did that wheel in no time flat, and I think he could have done it with his eyes closed. And that's, you know, definitely his experience and skill, but also those $9,000 tools work pretty dang good. I am still interested to see how this comes out after curing, so let's put it in the oven and see how my job turns out. $70 gun might do good enough. We'll see, I don't know. All right, the part is in the oven finally, and this part is pretty important. So we've got the oven at 400 degrees, and basically all that needs to happen here is the valve cover, or whatever you're powder coating, needs to get up to that temperature. 400 degrees, all that powder, as it warms up, is gonna kind of flow together and melt into one big, nice layer of powder coat. So we'll see it go from kind of dull and hazy powder to hopefully a nice, glossy, shiny finish right before our very eyes. Brighten the sensor. Ooh! She's glossing up, getting close. We're at 340 degrees, but you can see that looks like some shiny stuff. All right, no peeking, no more peeking. And she's cooked. Okay, so there's a few more things that are important though before we go yanking this out and oogling it. I turned off the oven, I've got the door open, and now I'm just gonna let it kind of slowly cool down for about, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 minutes, and then we'll pull it all the way out of the oven. But I gotta say, from here, it's looking pretty good. Sure looks shiny. Okay, Chris is back and he's got his valve cover that he's completed on a professional level. Now let's compare my work to the pros. keep in mind, this is my first time. How'd this go for you?
These are another day in life for us. Just pretty straightforward, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And honestly, you know what? Yours looks pristine, perfect, flawless. Mine looks decent.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty happy with how it came out for my first time. $70 gun.
Yeah.
And oven running off a generator. You know, okay, so you can see in a few areas I had some poor coverage.
That's more of a spray issue. Inconsistency with the gun, your gun having trouble doing what it's supposed to do.
And as you guys saw, that gun was like shooting a bunch sometimes and then none other times. So it was a little bit tricky. What do you think? I mean, give me a grade. I want a rating. I want you to grade me and rate me.
A C, C+.
All right, I mean, I was thinking more like B maybe, but all right, no, I'll take C+. Okay, so now let's cover a few things. Let's talk about cost, time, effort, and the result, the outcome. First off, cost, you charged me 200 bucks.
Yes.
I spent about 400 bucks. We're okay with spending a little bit more money to own the tools. Good deal there. Now, in terms of time, this took me, I think it was about 5 hours, which is a little bit better than I expected. I was expecting closer to 8. You, with all your tools, how long do you think it took you start to finish once you got started here?
Maybe 2-3 hours start to finish or something like this.
And for a very good result. But I kind of like doing this stuff, so time's okay with me. Now, effort. Like I said, you've got the chemical tank, the sandblaster. I was sweating a lot more than you probably did. So yeah, the effort was higher, but that can be reduced in the future. So I'm cool with the effort. Now, let's talk about the outcome. It was a fun process and the result was pretty dang good. So I think moving forward, I could do even better. I'm calling this, you know what? No offense to you because your job is perfect, but I won. Thank you for all the tips, tricks, and pointers that helped me get this done. And thank you for doing such a sick job on the K-Series cover.
Yeah.
And that yellow is pretty good.
Yeah, donut yellow.
Reminds me of something. Jeremiah, quit being a tool. Go get yourself our new tools shirt at donutmedia.com. That's right, we came out with our all-new tools shirt.
It's made out of 100% cotton, so it's the perfect shirt to wear while you work on your car.
Or to give to that one friend who forgets the name of that one tool.
Maybe it'll help you get that project car up and running that you've been planning on working on.
Yeah, the problem is that I can't remember what pliers are called. This is possibly my favorite shirt we've ever made. First off, I love the color purple and it looks sick against this gray. And it's like a cheat sheet. If you're in like automotive school, have the person that sits in front of you wear this shirt and you'll get everything right on the test. Donutmedia.com, get you one today. Trust me, best shirt ever.
So soft.
Well, we did it. I powder coated a valve cover and it doesn't look too terrible, and of course, Chris did a perfect job. I learned a new skill this week and I hope you guys learned some stuff as well. So go follow Chris at Velocity Powder Coating, follow me at Zach Jobe, follow Donut at Donut Media, but before you do that, like this video and subscribe to the channel, please, and I'll be right here licking my ketchup and mustard. Big mustard guy. Ooh, I love that ketchup. Find me a hot dog.